I kind of turned to him and I said, hey, man, relax, lighten up, relax.
He's like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Relax.
And he looked at me, and there's about 8 guys in the corner this time. And he looks me in the eye and he said, get used to it. Every shift, every period, all 7 games long.
I knew there wasn't a lot of time. I didn't realize there was only 5 seconds.
I just jumped out into the crowd and started running towards them.
So as I got the puck, all of a sudden I got rolled over.
Here's Gretzky at the line. Whoa! He hit. Gretzky really belted by McCreary, and he is hurt.
It was his last shift in the NHL. He never played again.
Don't you ever let that bird stand in your crease. If he's there, you run him the over.
He was a beauty.
I'm James Duthie, and this is Beauties, hockey's greatest untold stories, the podcast based on the book of the same name, which is now available. We're not going to share all of the book stories on the pod, just a few. Today's tale, the Great One-Liner. The most underappreciated part of Wayne Gretzky's game was his ability to finish.
Gretzky doing a nifty move, a drive, he scores! Wayne Gretzky!
A joke, I mean. One afternoon, Darren Pang, former NHL goalie turned broadcaster, is out golfing with his longtime pal at Sherwood Country Club in California, where Gretzky lives at the time. They're on the tee box of this really long par 5, completely unreachable. And Gretzky says, I bet I can get home in 2. Pang takes the bet, because Gretz is a good golfer, but he has 0 chance of getting on that green in 2 shots. So he hits a nice drive in the fairway, but he's still got a mile to the green, no shot. So Gretzky walks up to the ball, takes a long look at the green, and pulls a wedge out. Pang is thinking, what is he doing? And Gretz casually turns to his left and hits the ball into his backyard.
See, boys, I got home in 2. That's where I live.
He says with a big grin. A different day, another round, the Great One drains a 60-foot putt for birdie.
Like this bomb of a putt.
Without missing a beat, he says casually,
You gotta earn your nickname.
Pang and his group all crack up. Pang says Gretzky's not being cocky, he just does it to give the guys a laugh. Timing is everything in comedy.
And this farmer came up to me, he said, I've got 68 sheep, can you round them up for me? I said, sure, 70.
I remember the day the candle shop burned down. Everybody just stood around and sang happy birthday.
And considering the timing, the stakes, and what would happen next, Gretzky's greatest one-liner comes in the 1985 Stanley Cup Final. The series does not start well for the favored Oilers. The defending Stanley Cup champs lose Game 1 to the Philadelphia Flyers 4-1.
Game 1 of the 1985 Stanley Cup Final is history. And the Philadelphia Flyers win 4-1. They dominated this game.
Gretzky goes pointless and is a -2. In the dressing room after, Coach Glenn Sather really gives it to number 99.
We didn't play well, and Sather kind of called us out in the carpet, and specifically, I got it pretty good after the game that I wasn't ready to play, and that was bad. Basically, I didn't show up for a big game, and he wasn't too happy about it. So it was myself and Paul Coffey, we got really centered out that particular game for not being, ready to play.
But the next day, Sather is really positive, building the two of them back up. So by the time Game 2 starts, they are ready.
We played Game 2 in Philly, and obviously we were ready to play.
Early in Game 2, the Oilers are killing a penalty when Gretzky tries to freeze a puck in the Flyers' zone.
Gretzky and Tocchet have battled in the corner.
Forward Rick Tocchet is all over him. We'll let them handle the play-by-play.
Those days, to get a face-off and freeze the puck took a great deal of time. You had to be there for a while before the referee would blow the whistle. So as I was trying to freeze the puck, more and more players gravitated to the corner.
And we have a skirmish in the corner with players from both teams pushing and shoving.
So we ended up with, 5 or 6 guys in one corner, and I'm trying to freeze the puck. Rick Tocchet, who was playing on the Flyers at the time, was, needless to say, hacking and whacking and cross-checking me and everything you can imagine that you could pretty much legally do, you know?
Well, we won game 1, so game 2's playing, and, Keenan's saying you got to, make sure you keep playing Gretzky and Coffey, all these guys really hard. So, we're in scrums, we're, crossing up on the bag, face washing them, doing all the stuff that Pets do, right?
Finally, the whistle went after a barrage of hacks and whacks and cross-checks, and I kind of turned to him and I said, hey, man, relax, lighten up, relax.
He's like, what the hell are you doing? Relax.
And he looked at me, and there's about 8 guys in the corner this time. And he looks me in the eye, and he said, get used to it. Every shift, every period, all 7 games long.
Every game.
Turned to him, I looked, and I said, I don't know what series you're playing in, but I only plan on playing 4 more games.
Boom. A verbal sucker punch.
It was funny. Everybody, even both, kind of laughed. Like,
did you even laugh?
I kind of smirked, but it kind of hit me like, just did it. Like, it was very calm. And the scrum, both, like I said, both guys kind of chuckled. And we're in an intense situation. Start pushing again. Like, that initial 2 seconds, it was like, hey, that was pretty funny.
Well, 8 or 9 guys left the corner laughing. When we got back to the bench, of course, all the guys are going, what's so funny down there? What happened? Somebody themselves?
Can a great chirp actually turn a series? Well, from that moment on, the great one goes off. Minutes after the Oilers kill the penalty, Coffey feeds Gretzky to open the scoring.
Coffey trying to center dead. Gretzky, a shot, Lindbergh, a save. Gretzky scores! Wayne Gretzky gives Edmonton a 1-0 lead.
The Oilers go on to win 3-1 to even the series. In Game 3, Gretzky scores a minute 10 in.
Here's Gretzky, walks in, scores!
15 seconds later, he scores again.
In the corner, Gretzky again, scores! When you're hot, you're hot.
10 minutes into the game,
Edmonton starting out, Messier with room. Cuts in front of his teammate, Gretzky scores!
he completes the hat trick.
The hat trick for Wayne Gretzky in the first period.
He finishes with 4 points in a 4-3 win. All 3 of his goals are scored with each team having a player in the penalty box, which infuriates Keenan, Clark, and the Flyers. It leads to the Gretzky rule.
So after those 3 goals, that's when they changed the rule 4-on-4, because every time we got a 4-on-4 against Philly, we seemed to score that year.
Right.
And Mike said that we were purposely taking penalties to play 4-on-4, which was crazy. And because of that playoff, they changed the rule. I don't know how many years they went, 8 or 9 years, where there was no 4-on-4 hockey. If you got coincidental minors, it was 5 against 5.
4-on-4, 5-on-5, it doesn't matter by this point in the series. Philly cannot stop 99. Game 4, the Flyers' last real hope, is tied 3-3 midway through the second when Gretzky scores 2 straight.
Coffey fires. Right in front, backhand, scored! Gretzky! Edmonton trying to build on their 4-3 lead. Anderson is crunched to the ice. Right in front, Gretzky scores!
To win it 5-3. Now he's turned Tocchet's words back against him. He is killing the Flyers every shift, every period. In the clincher, Gretzky goes full legend. A goal and 3 assists in an 8-3 win. Game, series, cup.
The Edmonton Oilers, the Stanley Cup champions of 1985.
In the 3 3/4 game since he punchlined Tocchet in the corner, Gretzky has scored 7 times and added 4 assists, and he wins the Conn Smythe Trophy running away. That first loss woke the Oilers up, woke Gretzky up. Sure, that joke in Game 2 was funny, Tocchet says.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. The only problem is, damn, the guy was right.
The Flyers and Oilers develop a fierce rivalry over the next few years, meeting again in the Cup Final in 1987, with Edmonton winning in 7 games. 3 months later, Keenan is chosen to coach the Canada Cup team. He assigns Tocchet to room with Gretzky.
I was really nervous. I mean, when I knew I was rooming with him, it's like, first thing I'm calling my parents, and oh my God, I'm going to room with Gretzky. And then about 2 days later, I think just his demeanor, or the way he acted in the room, the way how normal he was, it just brought me to ease. And then I ended up living with Gretz for about 2-3 weeks. That was a time when he started secretly dating Janet Jones at the time. And I remember we came in the room, and then Janet came later, and he said, just don't say anything to anybody. Remember, I think they kept under wraps for a while.
All right.
So, yeah, so it was about a week there. I mean, it was, I knew for about a week before the public knew that he was dating her.
Tocchet thinks it's pretty cool that Gretzky trusts him with his secret. A couple of days later, Gretzky tells his roomie he's going to get a haircut.
And he goes, hey, I got to go get a haircut, I go, nah, go ahead, whatever. And then he goes, well, yeah, I want to get a haircut. So he's kind of referenced, I want you to come, right? And I just didn't catch on. I'm like, realized, oh, shit, it's Wayne Gretzky. So I went with him to a place to get his haircut. And within, literally 10 minutes, I swear there's about 1,500 people outside. That was the Canadian Canada Cup. We had training camp in August.
Right.
Outside the salon, there was like at least 50, 60. So it took me about 5 minutes to realize, hey, buddy, he wants you to go because, he doesn't want to go alone, right?
The two become close friends. They still are. When I call Tocchet for this story, he's having dinner with Gretzky that night. And as for that chirp that just maybe changed a series, well, Gretzky says he still brings it up once in a while.
Yeah, trust me, I remind him still to this day.
They always laugh, but Gretzky always laughs a little harder. Tocchet doesn't find it quite as funny as he does.
You just look at him and you're like, you're a beauty. Unbelievable.
Beauties is written by me, James Duthie, and produced by Christoph Mamona with the support of TSN and Bell Media. The book Beauties is available wherever you get your books. I think you'll like it. And don't forget to listen to our after show, Rubber Beauties, with the cast of the Rubber Boots podcast. You can find it where you find the Rubber Boots Pod.
Beauties, they call them beauties, yeah, 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 yeah. They play that game their own way, 'cause they're beauties.